With him among the players leading the under-21 England national team at the under-21 championship, playing and obviously leading them to the quarterfinal, that is Emily Smith Rowe. He has conducted what we call an interview with Sun Sports and is going to welcome Rice and Kai Havertz at Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Now, as it stands, it's really a Sunday. I know most of you have gone, some of you have gone to church, most of you might not have gone there, but I know that you've gone ahead to go on your knees and obviously say a prayer before you really started off your day. And Muslim friends and subscribers and viewers, may Allah do the best for you, and don't forget to say a prayer to Allah before you kickstart off your day. So we are talking Cesc Fabregas announcing his retirement yesterday night, and we're going to talk a little bit about him and what he did for Arsenal. Then there is a story of Darren Bent. He works on Talk Sport, and he has gone ahead and obviously hinted a little bit on how he wants Rice to be really used alongside Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard. I don't know what he thinks about Kai Havertz, but obviously it's what we have here onto our user-friendly YouTube channel known as Rokani Media Football. It's the Arsenal News Show, meaning that we strictly talk Arsenal, and I hope you guys had a wonderful yesterday. Now, Kai Havertz has already been announced as an Arsenal player. That is it. Declan Rice is one of those that it's a done deal, but they're still working on the structure, and it's anticipated that on Monday, a here we go is going to be announced, already put out by the likes of Fabrizio Romano and very many others. So as it stands, it's all about waiting for him to really come through and do his medical, and we brought you a story about him and the medical that is going to pursue at the London Colney as of yesterday. Now, Emily Smith Rowe was asked about the two signings that Mikel Arteta has gone ahead to make, and his first statement on Kai Havertz was Emily Smith Rowe on if Kai Havertz's arrival is extra competition for him. He said, of course, but this is football. You just got to get it on with, and I've got to keep working hard and healthy competition. I have to keep fighting for my position. That's what he said about the arrival of Kai Havertz. And there is something more that I'm supposed to look for here that I had forgotten to put onto this video because on Sun Sport about this deal. But talking about Kai Havertz being extra competition to Emily Smith Rowe, everyone knows it, that it's one of those that you'll have to accept, and it's not a farce. It's something true that has been put onto Emily Smith Rowe and needs to bear with it, because in this game of football that we play, let no one lie to you that a player holds what we call a position for good. That is it. So no player holds a position for good, and you have to obviously know that Emily Smith Rowe is going to be affected by the arrival of this guy, that is Kai Havertz, because most of the positions in which he plays in are the same positions where this guy plays, that is Kai Havertz. In the midfield three, he plays there, can play as a central attack midfielder. Smith Rowe can play as a right attack midfielder. He can play as a left attack midfielder, and all of those positions he can do them very, very well. That is Emily Smith Rowe and Kai Havertz. But the only position that Kai Havertz does better, that Emily Smith Rowe doesn't do better, is playing as a false number 9, and in that position he cannot thrive there. That is it. But he's welcoming him to Arsenal, and he's saying that he is not fearing competition, and it's good to be having competition because it keeps you working hard. So Emily Smith Rowe is seeing the coming in of Kai Havertz as a motivation factor to go ahead and obviously work hard and put in the effort. That is it. He has to put in the work to see that he outcompetes Kai Havertz. Amidst him being at the championship and firing all cylinders, scoring in goals, he really believes that he needs to do a little bit more to suit into that Arteta side. That is it. And for Kai Havertz, looks like it's a sure deal for him to go ahead and obviously start into that Arteta side, because when you look at Arteta, he cannot bench a player who he has bought £67 million. You see, he cannot even bench Gabriel Magalhaes, whom he bought. Sorry, he cannot bench Ben White, whom he bought £50 million, because his bosses will ask him that, why aren't you playing that player, yet we gave you money? So will he bench Kai Havertz? So in this narrative, Emile Smith-Rowe needs to really double or quadruple his efforts to really come into this team. But the good thing is that he's at the English under-21 and is firing in all cylinders, playing a very pivotal role into their qualification, and they're playing the under-21s, and they're going to miss Nuno Tavares in there for you to do the job for the side of England. So wait and see how that is going to turn out. But Emile Smith-Rowe has welcomed Kai Havertz in that way that he's ready for competition. That is it. What a better welcome do you need, when you really have a player like Kai Havertz, because he's going to motivate you and elevate your levels. And this is so much reflective to how players like Song Bilong were elevated by Arsene Wenger, because Arsene Wenger found himself in a position of knowing that the likes of Flamini are leaving, Fabregas are leaving, and then he put in Songo Bilong and told him you have to compete with those players, and obviously he became a very good player. Remember Gal Cliche, coming in through as he was competing with Ashley Cole. Then when Ashley Cole left, Gal Cliche dominated that place. Then Kieran Gibbs came in through. So all that competition being created by Arsene Wenger helped those players to elevate. And if at all you are a very good player, you just don't fear competition, because competition makes you a better and a better player. Now, on Declan Rice, this is what he had to say. I can't speak highly enough of him. I remember my first camp and I was surprised with how good he actually was. He was the best in training, just his level, intensity, technically, everything he was doing. A real leader and still so young. So, hear out what he's talking about Declan Rice, and you just have to take it with a sack of salt, because he's revealing to you why Arsenal needs him and why he's welcoming him in this manner, because the first statement itself just shows you how he holds Declan Rice in high esteem. I can't speak highly enough of him. Do you know what that means? That means you've even run short of superlatives that can obviously raise this player to the platform you want him to be. That's what Smith-Rowe is telling us about Declan Rice. And all the characters I was going to really reveal to us all indicate that he's a very good leader. Very, very good leader. And remember, once Emile Smith-Rowe was included into the team of England, and that's where he met Declan Rice. And he's talking about that his levels in training, he was really the best, but intensity and technicalities were really all above the ordinary. And he's a real leader and still so young. So he welcomes him in that narrative that he believes he's going to bring his intensity, technicality, leadership skills at Arsenal. And those are some of the few qualities that he comes in with at Arsenal. I really understand that there are question marks onto Declan Rice's ceiling, whether his trajectory is going to ascend or descend while at Arsenal. But when you look at what Emile Smith-Rowe is telling us, looks like, however much is left with just 1 year to hit his prime, looks like he still has a little more in his lockers to offer to the Arsenal fans. And I know he's going to look a much more better player at Arsenal. Why? Because he's going to be playing with quality players alongside him. Then he'll find himself in a situation of obviously playing for a team that obviously has the lion's share of the possession in the field of play. He has been playing for West Ham. West Ham doesn't really win lots of possession. They're playing the game of football. So he's coming to a side that obviously it's a possession dominating side. And we anticipate a lot from the player of the caliber of of Declan Rice. And obviously Smith-Rowe has welcomed them at Arsenal in a different narrative altogether. For Kai Havertz, because he's his direct competitor, he has told us that he doesn't fear competition and is really good to go, and competition is good for the team. For Declan Rice, he has obviously told us the importance and what it brings in at Arsenal. What a welcome for the duo that Arsenal have gone ahead to sign in the first 16 days of the windows. So we leave that out for Emily Smith-Rowe, and then let's continue a little bit with Darren Bent. Darren Bent has something to say amidst the rumors of Thomas Partey wanting to leave Arsenal. Darren Bent has his own narrative to really sell to us about how he believes Mikel Arteta should be playing these players. Now, he has told us that I want Declan Rice to be in the number 8, so Odegaard him, and then I don't know what's going to happen with Thomas Partey, but if not Partey, then Jorginho. That's the 3. If Partey stayed, I would like Partey, Declan Rice, and Odegaard. Yeah, right? So, I understand his narrative, but having Declan Rice playing in an 8 and Thomas Partey in a single pivot or defensive pivot alongside Martin Odegaard, where does that leave Kai Havertz? I believe in almost all the games they're really going to play, where they're not playing big teams, they're going to be having Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard in the midfield 3. But those players, that system or that midfield 3 can only operate when Arteta is playing away at like Man United, because you'll know that I need to respect Man United. Then let me play Partey and Declan Rice in an 8, and then Odegaard in a 10, playing out at Man City, Liverpool. You understand? At Chelsea, you'll need a team to really do the needful, to be having in a Declan Rice who's going to bring in a little bit of athleticism and the physicality, you know, to cover lots of distance and really do those blocks and checkmates, right? But at Emirates, I think he'll obviously go in for Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard. It's really going to create a little bit of pressure for Mikel Arteta on how to choose his team throughout the season, because rotation is going to be called upon for, and we know that he's not a good manager when it comes to rotation, though a reason has always been given that he never had quality with him to see to it that he thrives in really making good rotation with those players. But the team is really going to be so much competitive, especially in the midfield. And after Declan Rice, he wants to bring in Lavia, so he wants to add another midfielder into that team. So wait and see how that's going to anticipate. But Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard, I think will be a very good midfield altogether. But the big question remains, how does that really reflect in results and Arsenal possessing the game and being what we call proactive in every game? Because to me, my midfield 3 that I think can go ahead and obviously do the needful: Declan Rice, Jorginho, and Odegaard. So that I would rest sometimes Bukayo Saka. I put Kai Havertz onto the right, attacks at the midfield, then Martinelli, Gabriel Martinelli and Jesus to lead the line, because I really want to see a lot of creativity coming from the midfield, because last season Arsenal never created very many chances for their number 9s, and if at all you have Kai Havertz, you know, on the pitch, you're having Jorginho, Martin Odegaard, and Declan Rice, you're 100% sure of service to really reach your number 9, because next season is a season of harvesting for Arsenal. The previous 3 seasons have been seasons of obviously clearly plowing the land. That was when he came in through in 2020. Then the next season, he was really planting his seeds. The other season of 2021, when he came in through 2020, his first season of 2021, it was a season of plowing the land, you know. 2022 was plowing the seeds, and now 2023, it was spraying onto these fruits that these plants that Arsenal bared. Sorry, the Arsenal have gone ahead to plant have bared, though they're almost going to clinch the trophy. That is a very huge harvest, but they never got it. They are really ahead of schedule. But this season of 2023-2024, it's what we call the harvesting season. Arsenal need to win trophies this season. And with winning trophies this season, he has shown us that his back four is really watertight. Aaron Ramsdale kept close to 14, 15 clean sheets that season, meaning that they're going to keep in more this season. And the only problem was getting in more goals and killing off certain games. Even if they lost to City like that, but where were goals in the games of Everton, when they lost 1-0 away at Everton, 1-1 draw at Southampton, where were the goals? Brentford drawing with Arsenal 1-1, right? Where were the goals? You know, there are some games you'll pick out, 1 and 2. Southampton 3-3, such games will come in through, but where was an extra fourth goal to say to it that Arsenal wins that game? So if you are watertight and you're scoring goals, you put yourself in a better position to win the trophy. So let's wait and see how Mikel Arteta is going to go ahead and really deal with that. But let's talk about Cesc Fabregas yesterday night announcing his retirement from football, and it was broken all by David Austin. Cesc Fabregas brings glittering 20-year playing career to an end. 36-year-old former Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, Monaco, Carmel and Spain midfielder finished with 849 appearances, 256 assists, 148 goals plus 17 trophies, moving into coaching role at Cameo. That is Cesc Fabregas for you. And if at all you never watched him at Arsenal, then you missed out on what we call a complete central midfielder. Why? He was one of those who could come in through and obviously play as a CDM, right? Especially when Patrick Vieira left, he dropped a little bit into that role. He could play as a number 8, as a box-to-box midfielder. He could play as a central attack midfielder, a creative midfielder into that team. And when you look at Arsenal, he made his debut for Arsenal in 2003 and he played for 8 years. And in 2011, he left Arsenal and he played 212 goals for Arsenal and he scored 35 goals. Then for Barcelona, 96 games, 28 goals. Chelsea, 138, 15 goals. And obviously, Monaco, 54 games, 3 goals. Cameo, 17, 0 goals. And that is 518 appearances. But for Spain, he won a World Cup. And trust me, there is nothing in the World Club football to compete with that's not going to win. He has won Champions Leagues. He has won a Champions League, I think. Right? You are right. Yeah, he won it because he was with Barcelona as they beat Man United, I think. Then he came in Chelsea. He won. Did he win the Champions League? Let me see. Barcelona. 3. Manchester United 1. I want to see. UCL, fine. I want to see whether he was part of that Barca squad. But I think he signed for Barcelona in 2010, right? After the World Cup, he left Arsenal and signed for Barcelona, and that's when they came at Wembley and beat Man United. So he has not won any. He has won everything at the club level, and let's really bid farewell to him and wish him well when it comes to his coaching career. That is Cesc Fabregas, a former Arsenal captain, and he really did lots of things for the club of Arsenal. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Your thoughts onto Emily Smith Rowe welcoming Declan Rice and Kai Havertz at Arsenal are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about the Darren Bent narrative that he wants Thomas Partey, Declan Rice and Odegaard to be the priority or the ideal midfield 3 of Arsenal? May the living God protect you abundantly. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Me out.